Only front bulkhead bar and shock absorbers, Batman. Hello there and welcome back to Build with the Boys. We have now got part 6 of Build the Dark Knight Tumbler, and we have the front bulkhead bar and shock absorbers. Very, very little to do, but let's, again, as I keep saying, it's the nature of the beast, so please keep the faith, keep the faith. It will pay off in the end. It will look amazing. It's just, it'd be nice to get some heft, wouldn't it? It'd be nice to get some bulk, which we haven't got yet, but it is what it is. So we are adding more to our bulkhead, which we built in issue 5. The shock absorbers are going here, and as will the bar. Now this is why I don't think your cockpit's going to sit flush against here, because there's a bar across there. Not sure. I also question how functional this bar is going to be, because it's plastic. So I'm really hoping it doesn't affect our steering a lot, because it ain't going to take those wheels. It don't feel strong enough. But we'll see, won't we? At the end of this one, we will be visiting Arkham again to visit one of the sadistic inmates of Arkham Asylum. A very, very, very dark character, which you wouldn't have got in the Adam West show, put it that way. We'll be talking about him at the end, so stay tuned for that one and learn some Bat facts. But without further ado, Gotham needs us, so let's get into it. So this is everything we get inside Pack 6. It's not a lot, but look, right? I can't stress this enough. This isn't Iron Man. Right? Iron Man, every pack was like this. But this is just the way this works. This is just the economics of it. We're building these little bits to begin with. I personally think they should offer bigger stuff early doors, because I think this is where they lose new subscribers. It's cute, but unnecessary. I think that's why they lose new subscribers. Going on this and building up enough and putting too much for this. I'm not getting enough of my money. And I think they bail. So I think maybe they should offer some bigger, sexier pieces at the beginning, but they don't. This is what they do. So let's have a look what we're dealing with here. Okay, so I'm pretty sure, yeah, I know. Those parts are last. These parts are first. So we're going to make these shock absorbers. Now, it's all plastic screws in this one. So it's CPs and GPs. So that tells me everything in this issue is plastic, and it is. That, again, is a concern. This bar would not take a lot to break. So I really hope it's not functional. I hope it's decorative. I really hope that doesn't have function, because there is very little this could do. Very little indeed. Right, so what we're going to do is we've got to build the shock absorbers first. I'm going to use the GP screws to do that. And all of these shock absorber parts are exactly the same. So these two are identical, these two are identical, so it doesn't matter which ones you use. You don't have to worry about right and left or anything like that on this one. So we're going to build 2 of these. Now, quite simply, we're going to take a GP screw. That's one of these longer screws here. And we're going to line this up, and we're going to screw straight through. So that's going to go on there like, There is a tilt to these. Let's make sure this goes on the right way. I don't think it's not going to make a difference, is it? No, it's not going to make any difference. But we'll do it the way they're saying to do it. So with a tilt that way, we'll put the head through this side. So that's going to fit in there like that. And then we're going to keep the head this side where the tilt is. And we're going to put that straight through. Hopefully this lines up. If you get any resistance, stop. Because this is plastic. So if this isn't going directly through the hole, stop. Because you can chew up your plastic. You don't want to do that. As is, this is easy enough. Okay. That's one shock absorber done. Let's move on to the other one. Same again. So I'll pop that one in there. Take our GP screw. I'm going to put that through here. Now, hopefully, this will be just as easy as the last one. He says, wishfully, knowing that it won't be. No, it is. Nice and easy. Perfect. Okay, so that's our 2 shock absorbers built. Move this bar out of the way. We don't need that just yet, because we're going to be attaching these to our bulkhead. So let's find out exactly how these go on. So where are we going? Right. Easy enough. Okay, so as you can see, there's an angle. We want that angle go that way, and it's going to pop in to this slot here, I believe. Let's make sure that is correct. Yes, it is. So it's gone right next to the shock absorber from the last one. So it's going to go in there like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to flip this one over and we're going to hold it in place with a CP screw. So let me prep that screw. Okay, so holding this one in place with my finger there, I'm going to pop a screw through here. And hopefully, yep, that's that one held in. Simple enough. Don't over tighten this. This is plastic. If you over tighten it, all you can do is just chew the plastic up. You don't want to do that. You do not want to do that. But that's tight, that's firm. I'm happy. This has got some movement on it. With the screw head this side, you've got access to it, so you can loosen it if you need to. Don't put your screw head this side, because if you need to loosen it, you ain't going to get to it. So this way, if we do need to loosen that or tighten it, we can. That's why we keep our screw heads on the outside. And I did the exact same thing on the other side. So we're going to take this one here. Screw head on the outside. Pop that one in there, and we're going to flip this one over, and we're going to put a CP screw in there to hold that one in place. So flipping this over, taking our CP screw to a hole. You feel a bite. That's something very satisfactory about when it grabs that part, pulls it in. There we go. So that's it. So now we've got both of our shock absorbers in place, there and there. Looking good. Looking good. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to apply our bar supports. And we have two of these. And these are going to be held in place with, I would imagine, CP screws. It is CP screws. Now these got lugs on them, so they're only going to go in one way. So you can see from these, we've got the actual screw holder, we've got the lug itself. So they can only go in one way. So again, it doesn't matter which way around these go, they're only going to go in one way. So there you go, that's that one in there. I'm going to pop this in place with a single CP screw. Again, there's not much doing this one, man. I mean, it's literally, this whole issue is 6 screws. That's it. So we're going to go in this hole here. Someone screwdriver needs to remagnetize him. Let's try that again. If you have problems with that, I swear by these. Literally, it's this easy to magnetize a screwdriver. Hold your screws nice and tight. There we go. Right, so let's get this one in. Again, black on black with black screws. Not the easiest thing to see what you're doing. But in we go. You feel that one tighten up. Pulls into place. Lovely. That's that one done. One more. And we are pretty much done. All we've got to do is apply the bar. So our second one here, again, with the lug, it can only go in one way. So it's going to go in this way round. Hold that in place. Flip it over. And a single CP screw to this hole here. And you can feel it grab and pull the part into place. So those are our bar supports done. Now our bar does not screw in, it does not glue in, it doesn't do anything like that. All we're going to do is we are going to pop this one in place and it's going to hold, so they say. Let's make sure we got this the right way around, the right way up. So these parts here are going to be facing down. So these face down. On there, and in there. It's all the way in? No. There we go. So that's in. There we go. So the bulkhead bar is in. Our shock absorbers are on and looking lovely, and we are starting to build up. We're starting to build up and looking nice. So these ones facing down. Yep, those ones facing down. And that is all there is to do in this stage. Criminally short. That's what we got. Let's have a zoom out. Just have a full look at this. There we go. That's how we're looking. Again, how all this goes together, I don't know, because it's not a traditional car build, so it's hard to tell. You can assume how this goes. The cockpit needs 2 gaps. I don't know if it has. I've got the cockpit in storage for the move at the moment, so it will be attached. I would imagine it's going to attach there. That just seems to make sense. And then these parts attach to the cockpit. That would make sense to me. I might be completely wrong, though. I don't know. But that's how we're looking. So this moves. Our shock absorbers move. Remember to put your heads of your screws on the outside, so if you do need to loosen these, you can. And then you're good. And that is all there is to do in stage 6. Let's have a chat. So there we are, that's that one done. That's the end of the month as well, sadly. So that's 5 and 6 complete. We've had a lot more to this. Now we're starting to get some structure to the car. We need something to build on, so we've got that now. That's a good thing. I can tell you that in parts 7 and 8, we are working on suspension. So we're working on suspension in parts 7 and 8. I know you want. When do I get the steering wheel? When do I get the seats? Not for ages. So just come to peace with it. We're working on the steering. We're working on the suspension. We're working on the wheels. That's a good thing. We need some base to the car. Now this is going to be quite a unique model. I would imagine what's going to happen is normally we build a chassis and then attach 4 wheels to it. I don't think that's what's going to happen with this one because of how unique the steering mechanism is. I can see us making the front steering mechanism, which then bolts to a chassis. I think that's what's going to happen, but we'll see. If you are just sticking around for the build instructions, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps the channel massively, and your support is very much appreciated. If you're sticking around for our back talk, we are off to Arkham Asylum again, and we are going to be looking at the sadistic sons of bitches that's ever inhabited Gotham, and that is this man here. So that is Victor Zsasz, or Zsasz, as he's commonly known. Now, he's had many iterations in different games and movies and all kinds of things. And what they do a lot in movies with him and the TV shows, I know, is they turn him into a hitman or like a henchman, when that really isn't what he is at all. In the comics, Victor Zsasz it's a dark character. So he inherited an absolute boatload of money, and we're talking like Bruce Wayne money here. Victor Zsasz was worth a lot of money. Very rich man, very wealthy man. And not only that, he was intelligent as well. So he invested his money, started a business, made even more money. I mean, he was like Bruce Wayne rich, Victor Zsasz. He was worth a fortune. But he liked to gamble. That was his thing. Gambling was his thing. So he gambled, and he ends up in the Iceberg Lounge, which is a casino and a bar owned by the Penguin, where the odds are fixed. And he gambled everything he had and lost it all to the Penguin, all of it. And he just gave up on life. At that point, his parents died. That's where he inherited the money from. He didn't have a girlfriend. He had no friends. He had nothing. So now he just lost everything he had. So Victor decided he was going to take his own life. He'd had enough, and this was it. So he went to the bridge overlooking Gotham Harbour and was going to throw himself off. Whilst he was there, he's approached by a homeless man who demands money from Victor. Victor's got the money to give him. So the homeless man pulls a knife out and he's going to turn it into a mugging instead. Victor takes the knife off him to defend himself and kills the homeless man. And in that moment, Victor says that in his eyes, he could see nothing. He looked into the eyes of the homeless man and saw nothing. There was nothing there. There was no thirst for life. He was just a zombie wandering through life. So I gave him the gift. I ended that life for him because he had nothing to live for. So I gave him the gift where I ended his life. And this is what makes Victor kind of break at this point. So Victor goes on a killing spree, and he kills people that he says has nothing in their lives. He has nothing behind their eyes. He just sees everyone as zombies walking around, and by killing them, he's releasing them. He's freeing them. And every time Victor does this, he cuts himself, and he adds a strike. And every fifth one, he puts strike through it, like counting down the days on a wall. But you can see them on his body. So once Victor has released people from the burden of their lives, the zombies that he calls them, he then tries to make them live. So he poses the dead bodies in lifelike poses. So he will pose dead bodies. He will make them in ways they're standing up, they're cooking, or they're cleaning, or they're behind a car driving. And that's how he poses. He always poses his bodies as if they're animated, as if they're lifelike. And it's dark. So Victor gets caught and he ends up in Arkham Asylum, and that's when he gets really, really dark. So Victor's killing spree doesn't really begin hardcore until he ends up in the asylum. So whilst he's in the asylum, he discovers that there is a hatch underneath his cell door, underneath his cell floor. So Victor is leaving the asylum at night, killing people, and then returning to the asylum, which is genius because they're looking for a killer who's already in jail, but he's escaping every night and he goes out and he kills people. Batman, being the master detective that he is, cottons on to this and gets himself put into Arkham Asylum so he can investigate Zsasz, which is an incredible story. It's a really good story. And Victor Zsasz is sadistic. I mean, this is how it goes. It is, the other Batman villains can sometimes be a little bit hokey, a little bit goofy with what they do, but Victor Zsasz is genuinely scary. Victor Zsasz is the sort of person, if he was in real life, you would be absolutely terrified of him because he is a complete nihilist. He lives to kill. That's it. That's what he does. And he believes that killing is not wrong. He believes that he is doing something right. That what he is doing is he is helping people by murdering them. It's crazy, right? And he is absolutely covered. So all of those marks you saw of Victor's body is for one of the people he's killed. So he has killed hundreds of people. Scary, scary character. It really is, and very dark. He did appear in the Nolan trilogy. So in a blink and you miss it cameo, Victor Zsasz is the villain that gets sentenced to Arkham Asylum by Rachel Dawes in the first movie. And he's played by, bizarrely, the lead singer of the band James. So if you're familiar with James, who did Laid and Sit Down, the lead singer of James plays Victor Zsasz in The Dark Knight, in Batman Begins. I don't know. So he has a cameo at the beginning where he gets put into jail and he has got kind of the smile and whatnot on his face. And at the end he escapes and he tries to kill Rachel, and Batman lamps him out. But when they did the website for The Dark Knight, he was part of it. He was part of the viral website that they did, where it shows that Victor Zsasz was still at large. So even though Batman punched him out, he escaped. So Victor Zsasz was still out there in the world doing his thing. Victor Zsasz is a great character. He's a really good character. In the comics, he's amazing. In TV, not so much. And in cartoon series, definitely not. They water him down and make him some sort of two-dimensional henchman. But Victor Zsasz is an incredibly complex character, and one that I think would be very good in the new one. So based on what they did with the Riddler in The Batman, Victor Zsasz would fit perfectly into that world because it is a very, very dark character. But that is the story of Victor Zsasz. So don't say I never learnt you nothing. We will be back in 4 weeks' time with issues 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we will have a lot of Batmobile to build. So that's going to be something to look forward to. And because there's more things, there'll be more Bat talk. So we will be talking about the 89 Batmobile. We will have another member of Batman's Rose Gallery from Arkham Asylum. We will also be talking about Batman in the movies in one of the issues, and we will also be talking about Further Reading, which are the ultimate Batman books for you to go and read. So if you're not familiar with the comics, but you'd like to know a little bit more about Batman and get a bit more into the story, you can definitely do that. This is the last Batmobile Tumbler coming from this build room because we are moving house. So I'm going to try and do that with as minimal disruptions to the channel as possible. But I will be packing up all of my Batcave, including the giant penny and my robotic dinosaur. Now, if that makes no sense to you, if you're thinking, what has a giant penny and a robotic dinosaur got to do with Batman? That is why you need to listen to more of the Batman chats, because believe me, Batman is synonymous with an enormous penny and a mechanical dinosaur. And in one of the issues, we will explain why. That's all for this one. In a world where you can do anything at all, just be nice. Please remember to like and subscribe. It helps us massively, and your support is very much appreciated. It helps our channel grow. And it's just nice talking to all of you. We're always interested in seeing your work. So if you'd like to send us anything or tell us about how you're doing, or you got any questions, you can contact us at buildingtheboys@outlook.com. But until then, remember, we will be back same time, same Bat channel next month, and Gotham needs us.